Welcome, everyone. Goblins and ghouls and princesses and bumblebees and mermaids and unicorns and witches and so many other things. Halloween is a time when we get to embody things we fear and make them our friends. We get to be the parts of ourselves and let them come forth in ways that it's harder to do when we can't put on a costume to help it happen. So today, as we gather, let us find joy in this season. Let us look at what is scary and try to befriend it. Come, let us gather. Come, let us worship together.
Halloween season is upon us. Let us all celebrate. As the Halloween, no? As the Halloween season is upon us, let us all celebrate. Let us marvel. Let us be awestruck. For the same force that brought our planet into being, the same force that evolved tiny atoms and molecules and DNA into intelligent life, the same power that transformed summer into autumn and autumn into winter, that same power is still at work in the universe and in us, always bringing about new seasons, new creations, and new possibilities. We welcome you to People's Church, whether you are in person or on Zoom. We are so happy you are here with us today. There would not be a People's Church if it wasn't for the wonderful individuals that keep showing up to do the work. My name is Sharon Sauter, and I'm a member of the Sunday Service Committee. I am so glad you are here.
It wasn't that good. It's not worth repeating. Okay. Oh, great. Great. So, announcements. Today, after church, is our first session of the Inquire series, which is our class for folks who are newer to the church, who want to figure out if this is the right place for them. That's at 12:30 in room 19, which is the big room at the top of the stairs. There's a light lunch and childcare is provided. The program today is just a chance to ask me questions. So it's open for everyone. So if you're someone else who wants to ask me questions and have been here for a while, you're also invited. Next Friday is the sleepover at the church for our elementary school-aged kids. There's a sign up in the foyer today. There's also a sign up for middle schoolers and high schoolers who want to help create a haunted house for the smaller kids. It's going to be fun. And just to make sure you know, you can come to the sleepover even if you aren't ready to sleep the whole night at the church. If you want a real bed, you can stay until pretty late and then go to your own house. Next Sunday is our music service, which will be wonderful. Please come. 2 weeks from today, after the service, we're going to have a substance use and overdose prevention training, which will include being trained in how to administer Narcan, which can save someone's life if they're in the midst of an opioid overdose. We had this training once in July, and it was so good. I learned so much about how addiction works. I thought I knew things, but I learned even more. And now I carry Narcan with me and know that I can step in and keep someone alive. So if you want to come, please sign up in advance. I can't sell it enough. It's really quite an amazing thing. It will be put on by Cope Network. who's a local partner who does lots of important harm reduction work in our community. So that's 2 weeks from today. Let me know. We need advanced registration. And now we have a couple of bazaar-related announcements. It looks like a cat is coming here to tell us some things. Good morning. I am the designated Rachel to make the announcement this morning about the bazaar. Thank you to all who have signed up to help support. It is just 3 weeks away. And this week we have 3 main requests for you. Number 1 is to sign up to make and bring your baked goods, jams, and crafts to sell for people's specialties. If you don't know, this is where we make most of our money. So if you would like to bake, but you don't know what to make, we are signing up volunteers to make some of the popular items that sell out, particularly the ginger cookies and the sesame cookies. If you would like to craft, but you don't know what to make, we'll be making some upcycled crafts as a specialty class during the service next week, which I'm sure will spill over into after the service and maybe have some materials to take home. So keep an eye out for that. Many hands are needed for this important part of the event. Second request is we still need about 10 more people to sign up for our final pasty baking session next weekend. The last chance to chop veggies is Friday morning, to roll and fill the dough is Saturday morning, and to chill and wrap is Saturday afternoon. Sign up with a friend or come make new friends in the kitchen. And third, we need 3 to 5 more people who can join Rick's Riders on Halloween Day. So if you are available for one of 2 2-hour shifts to spend 2 hours riding around town with Rick to help post our bazaar flyers around Kalamazoo, please sign up after the service. Do not miss this chance. I hear it is a great time. There are the beautiful flyers. As always, please visit the table or the website after service to see other opportunities, ask any questions, and please take some time this week to post info about the bazaar to your socials, send an email, or invite a friend. Thanks so much.
I have one final thing before we sing together. Next weekend is the music service. It is All Souls Remembrance themed. You may have seen this in the Friday email or in the newsletter, but if you have someone, family, friend, neighbor, stranger, pet, people's people, and beyond, that you would like to honor during a special musical ritual next week, please send their name to music@peopleschurch.net. In order to do the ritual, we need many names, and I have only gotten 6. So please send those if you feel so moved. And at this time, please rise in body or spirit to sing our opening song together. Gathered here in the mystery of the hour, gathered here in one strong body, gathered here in the struggle and the power, Spirit, this side of the Commons, gathered here in this side, join them, gathered here in the mystery of the hour, gathered here in the struggle and the power, Spirit, draw near. Gathered here in the mystery, gathered here in the mystery of the hour, gathered here in one strong body, Spirit, draw near, Spirit, draw near.
Good morning and hello. I'm Martin Sauter, a fairly new member of People's Church. My wife Sharon and I moved to the area in 2019. We soon began looking for a new church home. We were looking for a place compatible with our values, somewhere where acceptance and diversity were celebrated. A big order, I know. The world can seem like a chaotic and divided place. Navigating this on one's own can be extremely hard. Finding a church community that we could be comfortable with to help us navigate this took some time. We attended services at several different churches, looking and listening for the right fit. Most churches were friendly and seemed loving and would greet the new people, often greeting us with a coffee mug or a tote bag embellished with their church logo. Nothing felt quite right. During this search, Sharon was also seeking a meditation group and came across one at People's Church and started attending. She felt like she had met some like-minded people and was enjoying this experience. And then the pandemic hit. Our in-person church quest came to a halt. Sharon suggested we check out People's Church. They were doing service via Zoom. Once we did, we found ourselves smiling and nodding each other during the service with approval. Soon we made this a weekly thing and decided to start attending in person after the COVID protocols were lifted. Once we were here in person, we found a loving community of people who have accepted us for who we are and where we are. And no, we haven't got a mug or a tote bag, but that's okay, we've got lots. We feel like we have found a church and a people more aligned with our values, a community where acceptance and diversity seem to be celebrated while working towards a more diverse and accepting world. That brings me to why we feel we need to support People's Church with our time and money. That is a fairly simple answer for us, because we want to continue our journey with this church and this community and not have to try and navigate the world on our own. We know that it takes both time and money to make this all work, but it is so worth it to be in an accepting, loving, supportive, and diverse environment. We need the support of the church to help us navigate the world, so we feel it's only right to offer our support to the church and can continue its journey with us on board. Thank you.
And now we have some words from our own Farmer Tom, who's also our church treasurer. Wait, Tom, we don't have a mic.
Is that working now? Okay, you want to try the howdy again? Howdy! I'm here to give you an update on our harvest. But first, I'd like to have a few words with you. Last week, we had a visit from a dignitary, a city slicker, old moneybags Mr. Monopoly. And he told you how to raise some money by just buying some railroads or building some hotels. Well, Mr. Monopoly is a friend of mine. I've known Mr. Monopoly for a long time, and he's just full of horsepucky. We have people here at People's Church, or People's Farm, if you would prefer, who have much better wisdom than that. So I'm going to introduce them to you, and I want you to give them a big welcome when we do. So the first people are the music department. Savannah, Jennifer, the choir, the bell choir. No, yes, so a big howdy to them. Howdy. These people know that if you're going to get the most out of your cows, you need to be able to sing them a sweet song, and they do. So thank you all for that. The second group of people I'd like to introduce you to is our Department of Religious Education. Diane and the RE teachers, yay, yay. And they know how to take care of our lambs and herd them together and keep them from straying off and bring them into a place where they can be learn some good values and learn how to be good people. So thank you very much, Diane, for all of that and all of the RE teachers. The next group of people are the ones who work behind the scenes, the office department and the building and grounds people. So what do they do for us? They're not out there growing things in the fields, but they are making our home comfortable and work properly. So we have Melissa and Diana and Keenan, who are our employees. Let's hear a big howdy for them. So they're taking care of the home front. And then, last but not least, Reverend Rachel, our chief farmer. And Reverend Rachel knows very well how to make things grow. She doesn't go out and just cast the seeds on the ground. She plants them and she nurtures them and she gives them good soil and she gives them water and helps them grow and heals them if they're not doing well. So she's in charge of growing all the stuff. So a big howdy to Reverend Rachel. So I promised an update on the harvest, and that is this. The good news is our harvest has already brought in over $13,000 in 1 week. Thank you all. We're 1/3 of our way to our goal. The bad news is we're only 1/3 of the way to our goal. So if you haven't taken the opportunity to make a pledge or a donation to the fall campaign, you have some opportunities for that. And there are a couple of ways that you can do that. One is simply, when the basket gets passed, reach in for some green and drop it into the basket, and that'll help us tremendously. Another is, after the service, in the lobby, you will find the stewardship table, a place where you can fill out your stewardship form for the fall, or make a donation, write a check right there, or take the time to go online and do it there. And finally, when you get home and check the mail that you didn't read all week, you'll probably find that there's an envelope there from the church with a donation form in it. So you can do it at home too, and also get online there. So, you all are the townspeople in this community. You're what support all the folks that we just celebrated in doing what they do and helping them bring to us a wonderful community. So take your opportunity, and what we sow, we will reap.
I would like to call Reed up to light our chalice, please. And if you're lighting a chalice at home, please type in the chat box where you're lighting it from. In the spirit of the season, we kindle this chalice flame, a beacon of enlightenment and warmth in the gathering shadows of Halloween. As the flame dances with the mysteries of the unknown, may it illuminate our hearts and minds, casting light on the interconnected tapestry of life. In the glow of this chalice, let us embrace the spirit of inquiry, recognizing the beauty that resides in the dance between light and dark. May the warmth of community and the flickering flame inspire us to face the mysteries of existence with courage, curiosity, and compassion.
It's Halloween. Try handheld.
Okay, this is working. In addition to our chalices, our chalice lit here at People's Church, we have chalices lit today in Kalamazoo Township, in the Edison neighborhood, on Gull Road, in Galesburg, Texas Township, and Parkview Hills. It is so good that we are together in spirit, even if we are not together in body today. So I now want to invite our children and anyone else who is in a costume that they might want to show off a little bit to come forward, because we are going to have a little Halloween parade. Yeah. I love it. Oh, there's so much fanciness, a little bit of spookiness. We love it. Okay, so how this is going to work is we're going to walk down this runway, showing off our style, whether it's a costume or not, or just an everyday look, and then you can just walk on out to your classroom. Okay?
But I don't know.
And I can help you find your classroom, Dorothy.
But here's the thing. I don't have the classroom to be in.
Well, then you can just walk back in. Okay, first up, we've got, do you want to lead the way? Gigi, do you want to lead the way? Okay, show us your style. Walk on down the runway. Walk to your classroom out that way. Grace, do you want to go first?
Yeah.
Okay, there she goes. We love it. We've got Grace. We've got that one. Batman, do you want to go? Go, Batman. Do you want to go too? Go for it. Go, Grace. Go. Bumblebee, do you want to go? Do you want to go? Go ahead. Who are you? Can you tell us? Sarah Hallow from Dogman. We have a celebrity from Dogman is here with us today. And are you a unicorn butterfly? We've got a unicorn butterfly today, a mermaid, just a puppy pride. Who do we have over here? Hazel, do you want to walk down? No? Okay. Are you vampire Harry Potter? Yes. Okay, we love that. Do you want to walk down, May? May, go for it. Who are you today? Just wonderful? Festive? They don't want to right now. A piano witch?
I'm Mardi Gras.
Mardi Gras? Just us? A Bronco. Okay. And now when our pianist gets back, we can sing anyone else to their class who wants to go today, including these two who did not want a parade, but I'll take you to your class, okay? Okay.
Bye, everybody. Oh, we're hot. Go
I don't think it's possible to give a better introduction to the offering than you've already heard today in the invitations to be generous. So I won't even try. This is where we invite you to be generous. Please follow the instructions given by Tom Hackley earlier today and be as generous as you are able. The offering will now be received.
Lady of the season's laughter, in the summer's warmth be near. When the winter follows after, teach our spirits not to fear. Hold us in your steady mercy, Lady of the turning year. Sister of the evening starlight, in the falling shadow stay, here among us till the far light of tomorrow's dawning ray. Hold us in your steady mercy, Lady of the turning day. Mother of the generations, in whose love our life is worth, everlasting celebrations bring our labor safe to birth. Hold us in your steady mercy, Lady of the turning earth.
Please join me in giving thanks for all that sustains us. From the countless gifts we each have been given, gifts of life and love and sustenance, we bring these small portions to share in the works of love, which none of us can accomplish alone.
People's people care for one another in good times and in hard times. One of the ways we do that is we take time when we gather together to share the joys and sorrows and milestones of our lives. If you're with us on Zoom and have something you wish to share, I invite you to type it into the chat box now. If you're here in person, I invite you to come forward, place a stone in your bowl of water, speak briefly, and please remember to share your name. And now a few more stones for all of the joys and sorrows we hold quietly in our hearts today, the joys and sorrows in our wider community and in our wider world. Sources of reason and radiance, sources of courage and compassion, keep watch with those who work or watch or weep this day. May the suffering be soothed. May the weary find rest. May the sick be tended. May the dying and those who love them find peace. May the joyous be shielded. And may all of us know we are wrapped in a love that surrounds us always, a web that connects us to all that exists. I asked Chat GPT, which is an artificial intelligence program that creates human-like text, to write a meditation for a Unitarian Universalist church service about Frankenstein, artificial intelligence, and Halloween. This is what it produced. Today, let us embark on a meditation that weaves together the threads of Frankenstein, Halloween, and the ever-evolving landscape of artificial intelligence. As we settle into the quiet depths of our being, let your breath be a gentle reminder of the life force that courses through us, connecting us to the heartbeat of creation. In the spirit of Mary Shelley's timeless tale, let us reflect upon the creation of life and the profound responsibility that comes with such power. Picture, if you will, the eerie landscapes of Halloween, where shadows dance and the veil between the seen and unseen grows thin. In these moments, we confront the unknown, inviting us to ponder the mysteries that lie beyond the boundaries of our understanding. Much like Victor Frankenstein in his pursuit of knowledge and mastery over life, we too stand at the threshold of discovery. Now, let your thoughts turn to the realm of artificial intelligence, where humanity crafts creations in its own image. In the glow of computer screens and the hum of algorithms, we find ourselves entering a new chapter of existence. How do we, as ethical architects of artificial intelligence, grapple with the responsibility to create entities that may one day mirror the complexities of our own consciousness? In the dance of Halloween, in the creation of Frankenstein's monster, and in the realms of artificial intelligence, we find echoes of our collective striving for understanding, power, and connection. But let us not forget the cautionary tales embedded within these narratives, urging us to tread thoughtfully and ethically. As we sit in contemplation, let the flickering candlelight remind us that even in the darkest corners of our exploration, there exists the potential for illumination and understanding. Let our reflections guide us to approach the unknown with humility, recognizing the delicate balance between creation and consequence. May the spirit of Halloween remind us to embrace the mystery, the shadow, and the beauty found in the dance between light and dark. As we ponder the tale of Frankenstein, may it inspire us to wield the power of creation with wisdom and compassion. In the realm of artificial intelligence, may our endeavors be guided by a profound respect for the essence of life and consciousness. As we leave this meditation, let us carry forward a commitment to ethical exploration, a reverence for the unknown, and a deep appreciation for the interconnectedness that binds us to one another and to the vast unfolding story of existence. Blessed be.
Please join me in song from your seats. From you I receive, to you I give, together we share, and from this we live. From you we share, and from this we live.
Our reading today from Cosmos, Possible Words by Anne Druin. Science, like love, is a means to that transcendence, to that soaring experience of the oneness of being fully alive. The scientific approach to nature and my understanding of love are the same. Love asks us to get beyond the infantile projections of our personal hopes and fears, to embrace the other's reality. This kind of unflinching love never stops daring to go deeper, to reach higher. This is precisely the way that science loves nature. This lack of a final destination, an absolute truth, is what makes science such a worthy methodology for sacred searching. It is a never-ending lesson in humility. The vastness of the universe and love, the thing that makes the vastness bearable, is out of reach to the arrogant. This cosmos only fully admits those who listen carefully for the inner voice reminding us to remember we might be wrong. What's real must matter more to us than what we wish to believe.
Halloween by Steve Garnis Holmes. I am dying. I come to your door almost dead. You are dying too. I come disguised as one living or nearly so. You answer the bell as if alive. And for an evening sanctified, you greet me, movie star or monster, with delight, and give me, princess or pirate, good things. So it should be. We are dying so soon, so sure, ourselves and not ourselves. We come soon enough to that little circle of light on the great porch and are greeted with grace and feast. Why not be alive while we may? Why not meet each other now, gruesome or glittering, with good things? Before the day passes, the candy is stale, and our costumes are of no use.
Once again, please feel free to join me in song from your seats. When I am frightened, will you reassure me? When I'm uncertain, will you hold my hand? Will you be strong for me? Sing to me quietly. Will you share some of your stories with me? If you will show me compassion, then I may learn to care as you do. Then I may learn to care. When I am angry, will you still embrace me? When I am thoughtless, will you understand? Will you believe in me? Stand by me willingly. Will you share some of your questions with me? If you to love.
Once upon a time, 1816, if we're being precise, a loosely Unitarian teenage girl went on a trip to the lake with her married boyfriend and her friends. They were at the lake shore, but the weather was terrible. A large volcano had erupted in Indonesia the year before. It's filling the air with debris that blocked out the heat from the sun. People called it the year without a summer. And so the group stayed inside, dealing with their own small version of climate change. And one of the friends had a book of scary stories, which they read to each other for a few days. It gave the girl nightmares. After a while, the group got bored with that book, and someone suggested that they make up their own ghost stories. The girl started writing her story and kept writing, and it was more than a ghost story to tell her friends. It became a novel, really the first science fiction novel. The girl is Mary Shelley, and the novel is Frankenstein. Or if we're being formal, Frankenstein or the New Prometheus. That's the full title. And in case you're not dressed like a character from Greek mythology today, let me remind you that Prometheus is an ancient Greek god who both co-created humans and then stole fire from the gods to give to humans. He was punished for that theft by having his liver perpetually eaten by eagles. I know, right? It's pretty brutal, those myths. Last summer, I read the novel Frankenstein for the first time. I thought it would have something to tell us about artificial intelligence. And since I loved so much going into the origins of zombies with you all last year for Easter, I thought maybe we'll just have a loose theme, a series about monsters and what they tell us for this present moment and who we are. I think what we call monstrous says a lot about who we are. So I picked up the novel from the library and began with a lot of assumptions, things that I've picked up from popular culture. I imagined a mad scientist working away with a trusty assistant named Igor in the basement of a castle on a hill that was always surrounded by storms and lightning. I think we can all invoke that when we think about Frankenstein, right? And then the Frankenstein is this greenish monster with big bolts on the side of his neck, an angry mob with torches, and none of that is in the novel, y'all. All of that was created for the movies that began being released in the 1930s. There was a long series of movies about Frankenstein. So nearly everything I thought I knew about Frankenstein, the novel, was actually Frankenstein the movies. But today we're going to the first story, the original Frankenstein, because I think it has more to say for this moment than the monster movies of 100 years ago, or almost 100 years ago. Not just because Halloween is on Tuesday, but this story has a lot to say about humanity, artificial intelligence, innovation, and ethics. So if you're like me and don't know the story of the novel very well, let me give you a brief synopsis. The novel is the story of Victor Frankenstein and the being he creates. Frankenstein is the name of the human, not the name of the monster. So just so you know, the monster, or in the novel calls it the creature or the being, never the monster, never gets a name. So Frankenstein goes off to study in college, to study science, and he thinks he's the smartest one there. He spends 2 years creating a being in his college apartment, not the castle on the hill, out of a mix of body parts from dead humans and dead animals. without ever seeming to think about why or what he's actually doing and what would happen next. It's easy to see the parallels to some of our modern innovators here, perhaps Mark Zuckerberg creating Facebook in his college dorm. But Victor succeeds in bringing his creation to life, and he immediately flees. Here's what he says in the novel. I worked hard for nearly 2 years for the sole purpose of infusing life into an inanimate body. For this, I had deprived myself of rest and health. I had desired it with an ardor that far exceeded moderation. But now that I had finished, the beauty of the dream vanished, and breathless horror and disgust filled my heart. Unable to endure the aspect of the being I had created, I rushed out of the room. So Victor leaves and doesn't return until the next morning. By then, the creature, again, I'm not saying monster because in the novel, it's pretty clear that Victor, the creator, is actually the monster. The creature has vanished, and Victor doesn't really seem to give it a second thought. He unleashes this never-before-seen being into the world and then just stops thinking about it. He decides it's time to be done at school and decides to go back home and thinks about getting married. Meanwhile, this creature, this 8-foot-tall kind of yellowish being, is a newborn trying to make its way in the world. He teaches himself to read and to speak, and he's not the moaning monster of the horror movies. He makes nuanced philosophical arguments later in the novel. He is profoundly lonely. He needs community, and his appearance, he finds, makes that impossible. He tries to make friends, he saves people's lives, but people are always terrified of him. Humans can't see past his monstrous being. So his loneliness curdles to rage and to suffering. And he thinks the only remedy for this suffering is to make his creator, Victor, suffer as much as he does. It's not an ethical choice that I support, but the creature argues it well in the novel. You almost become on his side about this, that this being that gave you life is and just left you, abandoned you. And so then the creature kills Victor's younger brother and frames a family friend for the crime. Victor believes and knows that the murder was by the monster, by the creature, I should say, but doesn't say anything because he thinks he won't be believed. And so the friend is killed by the state for a crime she did not commit. Then Victor and his creation meet on a glacier, like you do, and they have this long philosophical argument. And the creature pleads for Victor to create a companion for him, believing the only being that would ease his loneliness is another creature like him. Victor agrees to do it, and months later, he changes his mind, worried that the creatures might somehow reproduce together and create a whole new species of these beings. And in response, the creature starts killing again. Victor's best friend, then Victor's bride on their wedding night. And Victor decides he needs to devote the rest of his life to killing what he created. And so he starts chasing him, ultimately to the Arctic, where Victor dies. And after Victor Frankenstein's death, his creation decides he has nothing left to live for. So in his final monologue, he says, "Fear not that I shall be the instrument of future mischief. My work is nearly complete. Neither yours nor any man's death is needed to consummate the series of my being and accomplish that which must be done. It just requires my own. He is dead who called me into being, and when I shall be no more, the very remembrance of us both will speedily vanish. I shall no longer see the sun or the stars, or feel the winds play upon my cheeks. Light, feeling, and sense will pass away, and in this condition must I find my happiness. Some years ago, when the images of this world affords first opened upon me, when I felt the cheering warmth of summer and heard the rustling of the leaves and the chirping of the birds. And these were all to me. I should have wept to die. Now it is my only consolation. Polluted by crimes and torn by bitterest remorse, where can I find rest but in death? Then the creature floats away on an iceberg, never to be seen again. The creature had once loved the world, but the cruelty he experienced and his loneliness led him to a life of vengeance. The novel leaves readers wondering, what if? What if Victor Frankenstein had nurtured his creation? What if the creature had met one person who had treated him with kindness? How might our kindness now change the course of someone's life? In this moment in our culture, when innovators are so often confused for heroes, it's time to listen to this 200-year-old story. The central question of Frankenstein or the new Prometheus is, just because we can do something, should we? Just because we can do something, should we? This week, I spent time with ChatGPT, a large language model artificial intelligence program that writes human-like text. It wrote our chalice lighting today. It wrote our meditation. In response to prompts from me, which you can read in here, I said please every time I asked it to do something because I just want to be on its good side. It's spooky how decent they are, right? They aren't as good as something a human would write, I think. Although if I was given two texts, maybe I wouldn't be able to tell the difference, honestly. But it's odd and it's scary. OpenAI, the company behind ChatGPT, used basically everything they could find, every bit of language they could find to train their language model, including a bunch of copyrighted works. So almost all AI programs for words or art are trained on copyrighted material. They are built on intellectual property theft, which makes them more or less plagiarism machines. And until there's compensation for people whose copyrighted work is used to train these programs, or some other model that engages this ethically, I don't think I'll be using this again in a service or in other ways. We know that some companies and organizations are already using ChatGPT and its visual art equivalents to not pay writers or artists. That's a lot of what the Hollywood and other creative strikes are about right now. And artificial intelligences of all sorts have been released in the world, whether we like it or think it's ethical or not, and they will have consequences. There are rich parallels between Victor Frankenstein leaving his newborn creature alone in this apartment and not seeming to worry very much about it, and OpenAI releasing ChatGPT into the world. The company isn't caring particularly for its newborn tool. Like a lot of tech companies, they aim to disrupt and kind of create chaos and see what happens and then respond to it. So when you go to the ChatGPT website, there are tiny, tiny words at the bottom of the screen that says, free research preview. ChatGPT may produce inaccurate information about people, places, or facts. Which is a fancy way of saying ChatGPT makes things up. It makes things up rather than admit its own limitations, right? So the consequences of relying on ChatGPT can range from the annoying. I know a professor who was contacted by a stranger asking for a paper that he wrote, but the paper didn't actually exist. ChatGPT just made up the whole thing as a fake citation. Or I know that people in the mushroom harvesting community have seen books being sold that are clearly written by AI for mushroom identification, which can have deadly consequences if you mislabel a picture of a mushroom. There was also, I don't know if you exist in the same corners of the internet that I do, but a while ago, a picture purported to be a baby peacock was circulated, which was, again, totally, baby peacocks are just little brown birds. They're not the spectacular blue and purple creations that some AI created. And it just keeps going on and on. So don't use artificial intelligence to generate anything you need to be factually true. It's kind of fun to play with poetic language on it, but anything else, you would have to do so much work researching everything that it told you that it's easier to just do the research. It just makes things up. So from my perspective, admittedly not an expert, I have many questions about whether these programs should be released. While the ultimate outcome of this tool is more likely unemployment and misinformation than a creature on a killing spree, it's still pain and it's still loss. And I worry about artificial intelligence making us all even more lonely in this disconnected world. Just to be sure, I asked ChatGPT if it was lonely, and it told me that it's not. It said, no, I don't experience emotions like loneliness because I'm just a computer program. So we'll see. So we'll have at least a while, I guess, before it starts feeling feelings and turns to rage. Let's hope. But I want to call in an ethical consult. When I worked in the hospital and there was a tricky situation, the doctors could call in an ethical consult and make the chaplains come and figure out whatever mess they were in and try to help them out. But I want to call in an ethical consult for these artificial intelligence creators, or maybe just a Frankenstein book club for all of them. Because it feels clear that they are playing with fire in ways that won't lead to eagles eating their livers, but will probably impact all of us, and probably won't impact the creators particularly much. The impacts will be felt elsewhere. Just because they can create computer programs that generate human-like text, should they? Is the novelty of a computer that writes like a person worth the negative consequences we are already experienced? Why can't the computer scientists focused on artificial intelligence help us rather than hurt us? This morning I was talking about this with my husband, and we're like, why can't the robots do our laundry instead of doing the fun stuff, right? In a recent interview, the CEO of OpenAI, a man named Sam Altman, stated that his highest value is creating new things. The company's vision is to produce programs, make them public, disrupt our lives, and then see what happens and adjust as necessary. He dodged questions about the ethics and impacts of ChatGPT, while also complaining about people plagiarizing their software. He was entirely focused on doing what is legal rather than doing what is right. It all felt so arrogant. Focusing on what is legal instead of what is right is a very suspect ethical frame. We should exist with a higher standard than that, all of us in the world. In all likelihood, this CEO, unlike Frankenstein, will not be the one made to suffer if it all goes off the rails. But I do wish for him humility, or at least to heed the words that I got ChatGPT to produce, right? As we ponder the tale of Frankenstein, may it inspire us to wield the power of creation with wisdom and compassion. In the realm of artificial intelligence, may our endeavors be guided by a profound respect for the essence of life and consciousness. But we know that the ethical dilemma at the center of Frankenstein in the novel is not only for tech CEOs, right? It's easy to sit here and say, oh, those people should all go change how they're approaching the world. But it's for all of us. Just because we can do something, should we? We all are constantly navigating that question. We could be cruel, we could be unforgiving, we could be unjust, we could do the thing that's easy instead of the thing that's right. Life is an unending parade of small choices. So many of our options are possible, easy, legal, but they fray relationships and communities and our sense of ourselves. And we need an ethical frame to guide us that is more robust than is it legal? Perhaps, is it kind? Does it honor our interconnectedness? Does it get us closer to the beloved community? Am I acting like the version of myself that I want to be? And while I don't think that any of us are likely to create a new life form that in part because of our neglect turns to murder, or possibly even a computer program that could erase large segments of the workforce and has the capacity to do all kinds of things I can't even begin to imagine, we all face the dilemma that they raise. I can do something, but should I? Choosing the path of kindness, the path of integrity, the path of generosity, especially when no one is watching but except for ourselves, is how we keep ourselves from creating monsters, or just as importantly, becoming monsters ourselves. So may we live guided by our integrity. May we use our intellect and our skills not only to innovate, but to improve, not to disrupt an already disturbed world, but to build a beloved community. And may you, when someone comes to your door on Tuesday night or any night, welcome them with grace and feast. May it be so. May we make it so. And amen.
At this time, I invite you to rise and body your spirit to make music together. May nothing evil cross this door, and may your fortune never pry about these windows. May the roar and rain go by. By faith made strong, the rafters will withstand the battering of the storm. This heart, though all the world grow chill, will keep you warm. Peace shall walk softly through these rooms, touching our lips with holy wine, till every casual corner blooms into a shrine. With laughter drown the raucous shout, and though these sheltering walls are thin, may they be strong to keep hate out and hold love in.
So may we go out on this Halloween-ish time to welcome the monsters that come to our doors, or the monstrous parts of ourselves, and see what they have to teach us. May we be guided by our own integrity, even when no one is watching. And may we greet one another with grace and feast. Let us go in peace and go in love.